Hey, we're back!
Hey, I think that's Pastor Alex's little usual intro, and
You'd be right. You'd be right.
I'm right. He also usually has kids that like pop up in the background.
No kids.
Yeah, where are our kids?
We'll figure it out. Anyway, so family message today. We're going to hear a story about some folks that wanted to change, but maybe not for the best reasons.
Maybe didn't quite understand why they even wanted to change. Maybe they had a good thing going, didn't quite get it.
Either way, here's the story. Enjoy.
1 Samuel chapter 4, verses 8 through 20. The people came to Samuel. They said, "We want a king!" They were not happy with Samuel as their leader and wanted a change. Not sure what to do, Samuel prayed to God about it. God responded,
It's not you, it's me. They don't want me to lead them. Samuel, go back to the people and let them know what it means to be led by a king and not by God.
Samuel went back to the people. He told them,
If you have a king, he will take your lands.
"We want a king!
If you have a king, he will take your food.
We want a king!
If you have a king, he will take your children.
We want a king!
If you have a king, he will take your freedom.
We want a king!"
There will be a day when you realize that having a king is no good. And on that day, God will not listen to you.
Even after all that Samuel said, the people still wanted a king. They said, "It will be okay! We still want a king just like everyone else because we want to be like everyone else." Here ends the reading.
So Jen
Yes, Scott.
/ Samuel.
Just Jen in this part of the.
Just Jen.
Just Jen.
Just Jen. What do you think about when you hear that story?
It kind of reminds me of different kings that we have in our own life.
Yeah?
So like the granite countertop, or the perfect garden, or kids that sit still in the shopping cart at the grocery store. So, just thinking about those things that I wish were different or wish we had, and kind of recognizing that that's not necessarily even always God's plan for us, or how we can best be like Jesus. If I'm so worried about all those other things that I want, and I'm giving that my time and energy and attention, then I'm not being in a right relationship with God, or focusing on how we can live our best life here and now.
So thinking about this idea of, if we're always thinking about ourselves and what we want, we're not putting that space in to think about God and what God wants for us.
Right. Or even asking that question, right? Because I'm so focused on that'd be so.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think of the phrase, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. A lot of people always look, and Facebook and these other social media platforms make it think like all these people have these wonderful lives. And of course, that's just a snapshot. That's just what they want us to see. And so this idea of if I just had this, then it would be better. Or if I just did this, or if I lived in this area, then things would be better. And a lot of times, you can find contentment and happiness with what you already have. And that idea of the grass is not always greener on the other side. And that there are many times the decisions that we make actually tend to bring heartache. Even though we think that we'll be happier, it doesn't make us happy. And I think for sure with the folks in this story, they thought it would be better to have a king because everyone else had one and everyone else was prospering. But at the end of the day, they were coming out of relationship with God, which is not good.
Right. And I think as a parent too, how do we model that for our children, right? So always taking a moment to reflect on what am I saying or doing, and is that in alignment with our values? Because our kids pick up on that, and helping and just talking about it with our kids. This is something really good and that'd be awesome, but sometimes we also say no to the good things to say yes to the really awesome, amazing things later.
Right. Or even, I think too, this idea of, and I think for everyone, it's a challenge. And for kids, kids see some YouTube video and of all the trains, and I want all those trains and I want all those tracks because they're having so much fun. And we're not having that fun because I don't have those things. And I think to myself, like, there is something to be said about like looking to other people for inspiration. But I think that we always have to make sure that we're constantly vigilant about what that inspiration is leading to. Is that inspiration leading us to be a better version of ourselves? Is that inspiration leading us to maybe come into better relationship with God or with our neighbors? Or is that inspiration simply surface level? Is that inspiration just fueling a desire that really isn't a need that we would have? It's more of a want, and it's sort of, extraneous. So, all right. Well, Samuel, I think it's time for us to find our children and wrap this family message up. So let's do what Pastor Alex does and say,
Go team.
Go team, bye.